Oh, you played after 11:30.
I did. I was having a really good time, so I didn't want to stop. Yeah, I couldn't stop.
11:30.
I did. It was fun. All right. So welcome. I've got to do this properly. Welcome to Sunday Ukulele. Half an hour early. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh, more coffee. Okay. So, Bonnie loves Vicky's coffee cup. Vicky, can you hold up your coffee cup again? Let me check that out. What's on that? A ukulele chord chart? That's the best. Oh my. Oh, if you get a chance, maybe type in the comments where you got that from. Oh,
My friend, the lady that leads the Bozeman, the whole group for the city,
yeah.
she's a graphic artist. And so she made these and sold them at Christmas a couple years ago.
That's so cool.
She does a lot with, the ukulele. She's got even, she has a ukulele book it's actually a beginner book. It's illustrated, just so cute. It's got, I don't know, little people and little mice and stuff like that. It could be for children, but there's enough in it, enough content that it's a good beginner's book for an adult too. And it's cute.
Oh, that's awesome. I would love to see the illustrations from that book. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Do you have a copy?
You want me to show you? Or
I would love to see. Maybe after
and
the live.
I can put the link on Amazon. It's also on Amazon.
That would be perfect. Yeah, plop it in the chat. And that's cool. Oh my gosh. I love illustrated books. I love them. So I want to check in with you guys before we get going. How did you do with running through the chords? Remember how I got you guys to run through the chord chart? Were you able to go through it comfortably? I guess that's the question. Like, if you have any questions about those chords or about anything we did last week, I know I've got a confession to make about, we'll find it on, and I got emailed about it, and I thought, oh my gosh, yeah, there is a typo. Remember, on bar, so if you look at La Vie en Rose level 1, I'll do my big confession right now and show you guys. Okay, so sharing the screen right here. Do you guys see the shared screen? Okay, so I am looking on this. So it's line 4 of what you can see. Okay, bar 2. Do you see where I've highlighted the D minor 7? Okay, now take a look at that 3rd fret note there in that bar. That should be on the 2nd string. Even when I played it last week, I thought, that's not right. What's going on? And then I got an email from Norma, and she's like, I wonder, Tina. And I looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, I made a boo-boo. Okay, so 3rd fret on 2nd string on that bar. Okay. Should be, 3rd fret on 1st string. Should be 3rd fret on 2nd string. So we'll go through that as I play it. If you guys have a copy that you've printed off, just check that out and make sure to move that from 1st string 3rd fret. Just move it down to 2nd string 3rd fret, okay? So I'll give you guys a minute to do that. See how I'm all about the true confessions? True confessions, I made a boo-boo. All right. Looks like everybody's getting kind of settled with that. Does anybody have any questions about where that is located on the music, or? Because I know sometimes it can be weird to look at it. No? Okay.
Check the chat.
Is it possible for us to change the actual sheet? Oh, yeah, I need to put up a corrected sheet. So if you print it off, you can just cross it off, right? And
White
put
it
up,
out with a white pen.
yeah,
That's what I did.
yeah. Yeah, and then just move it down one line. But yeah, I'll put up the corrected version, but I need to show you guys where I made the boo-boo. Otherwise, you're not going to see the change necessarily in the corrected version. And then it's going to be reflected as well in level 2, but you guys just need to know it in advance, right? All right, so chords. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through all those chords that we did before, but I want to talk about all the different G7 shapes. Okay, how did you guys do? Did anyone try? Let's talk about all the different shapes that I talked about. Okay, so the one that I tend to use, and I used it yesterday at the farmers market too, was I did this version. So 5th fret, 1st string with my baby finger, 1st fret, string 2, my pointer finger, then 3rd fret, or sorry, 3rd string, fret 2. Oh, I love that sound. It's just spaced out. There's so much air in between those notes. So I used that one, but look at my baby fingers slowly moving away from the fret because it's such a stretch, right? So an option that we'll also be using is still that 5th fret because that's our melody note, right? You can also do 5th fret, 1st string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then just reach over with your ring finger onto the 5th fret of string 3. See how it looks? Remember how I talked about how it looks kind of like a G7? But there's a fret in between there. So if you go like that, fret 3, string 2, fret 5, string 1, fret 5, string 3. That's spaced out, and then you can strum them all. This one's pretty cool too. Okay, so I'm just looking at the chord chart right now and looking at, for reference, the G7 that's spaced out is on the 2nd line. The 1st chord on the 2nd line, it's got G7 with an asterisk. And it occurs again on the end of line 4. And that's where I have the little line next to it that says or. And I'll share the screen so you guys can see where I'm talking about now. So the first one is right up here. Do you see where my mouse is? I'm going to scroll up so we just see the G7 right here. G7 with an asterisk, top left. So fingering alternatives, right? I want you guys to be comfortable. The first option, really, first option is just to play the melody note and your 4th string open if you want. Make the simplest of chords. Okay. And if that's not doing it for you, then you can do that stretch to that 1st fret string 2. But there's alternatives, right? So I want you guys to just think about all the different options you have and do what works for your hands. Okay. What I need to do is just maybe a little video tutorial of all the different options of those G7 chords. That might be good. So then you like that idea, Diane? Yeah, okay. And then you guys can choose. It's one thing to sit here and have me talk about them this way, but it's kind of abstract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to go through all these chords and just play them one at a time. Okay, and I'm going to hold each one for 4 beats, but what I'm going to do is move my hand good and close to the screen so that you can watch those chords while I do that. And I see there's a chat. Let me just check it out. Oh, right on. Link to your friend's beginner ukulele book. Thank you. Okay, so we start right off. Larry, thank you for joining us early. I have a paintball event later on where I gotta tee off on my kids, so this is good. Thank you for joining me. Tee off on my kids. I sound awful. Oh well, they'll have fun. All right, so the first chord is just your straight out C chord. chord. Okay, that top left first line. So let's just strum it. Okay, and then from there, the next chord we've got is C major 7. So C with the capital M. Anytime you see a chord that's got a capital M and then a 7, that means a major 7 chord. Oh, I love that. And then, oh, the best chord, C6, right? Okay. D minor / G. So it looks a lot like your G7 chord without your ring finger, right? I'm going to stop for a second and just remind you guys what that /G means. That indicates what the bass note is. In this case, that's your open G. Okay, so D minor / G. And now just to your regular G chord. Okay. Next line, we've got the G7 with an asterisk. So whatever gets you there, as long as you have the 5th fret on that first string, okay? I'm going to do a little thing right now. So G7, pinching your 4th string open with the 5th fret on the first string could work. Okay. That big stretchy with the 5th fret and the first string, plucking those two and the 4th string open, totally works too if you can hold it there. And if you can get that middle finger down on that 3rd string, totally. So I'm doing this because it'll be in the recording, right? Okay, now let's just go to our regular G7. D minor / G, A minor 7. It's the same thing as C6. You gotta love those chords where they do double duty, right? 2 chord names. You know one chord shape, you know a couple chords. Okay, let's move up to C on that next line. Okay, C major 7. Oh yeah. C6, ready? The special F, F with an asterisk. Okay, so that's the F, make your regular F chord, and then tuck your baby finger on the 3rd fret, string 1. Okay, good. I'm just checking out if you have any concerns about how you're making these chords. I can see your hands if you put them up close to your camera, if you have any concerns. Oh, you got it going on, good. Okay, now the barring. D minor 7 up on fret 5, so that's squishing your finger across all those strings, the 5th fret. Checklist on the bar chords, let's just stop and do a little checklist. Rest your hand for a second. When you make the bar, finger creases should not be on top of the strings. So if you guys have had any issues this past week making the bar chords, watch for that, okay? When I make a bar chord, again, I want to stop and do this so it's on the recording. My hand naturally comes like that on an angle. See how I tuck in my elbow? Put my finger parallel to the fretboard. My thumb is opposite my fretting finger. Okay. I make sure that my finger creases are not sitting right on top of the strings. And I strum down. As I brought my finger in like that, I also applied pressure. So my pointer, the tip of my finger is my pivot point. Bring in my finger, apply pressure as I put that finger next to the frets. Okay. There, okay, now I can relax again. So now where are we? We're back on the C. Or if you want to make, this is the alternative, the C bar chord, which this one is like your B flat chord. Okay. That one I know I talked briefly about it last week. You can bar all the way across the strings if you want, or do 2 strings on your 3rd fret. So strings 1 and 2, you'd have your pointer finger mushed across those 2 strings, barred, very much more technical sounding. Ring finger, string 4, fret 4, string 3. Let me start that again. I got my fingers all mixed up. I need to go back to elementary school. Okay, so pointer finger, barring on strings 1 and 2. Middle finger goes to string 3, fret 4, ring finger, string 4, fret 5. So they're, I love that chord shape. So the barring can feel a little bit weird at first, but if you're doing a 2-string bar like that, that can be kind of nice. You don't have to work as hard to get that sound. Trick though, with that, take a look at my middle finger. See how it's arched up when I make that bar chord shape? It has to be, because otherwise, if it goes like that, it can, oh no, come on, Tina. It can mute the second string, so watch out for that. That's a little checklist there. All right, so now let's continue on. Now we're back at our D minor 7 bar chord on our 5th fret. So, bar on that 5th fret. Now bar on the 7th fret to make our E minor 7, just shift everything up. So pretty. And back down to that G7. Okay, next line, C major 7. So C. Now sorry, someone had a question?
I do. The G7 on the chart, what's the number 4?
That's
Shouldn't
your
it
baby
be
finger.
5?
That's your
Oh.
baby finger, yeah.
That confused me last time. Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I was thinking about that and thinking, boy, I gotta indicate that that's fingering, you know? Usually, if it's a fret, I try to draw, like over on the D minor 7, where it says fret number, over on the left, do you see how I've got a 5 with an arrow? Usually when I'm writing these out, I do a little arrow to indicate the fret number. But yeah, it can be confusing for sure to go back and forth between frets and fingers. And then it depends on who's writing it out, right? I ran into that so many times with classical guitar arrangements where you never really knew. I think that's where I learned how to be really flexible, be open to interpretation. All right, let's finish it off on the last full line where it's C major 7, C6. Let's hit our C. And then C major 7. So again, anytime you see a capital M with a 7, that means a major 7 chord. Oh, so floaty. Okay, now to C6. D minor / G, which we know that slash indicates a bass note. That's why we've got that 4th string open. Now we're at the end of that row, just with our normal G7. Okay. There we go. And last chord on the bottom there, back to C. So do try to run through these chords. Like I know that usually people want to dive right into the song first. But I'm showing you guys the way I learned the song, right? So I practice the chords first. I like to do as I do, not as I say. All right, now we move on to La Vie en Rose, level 1. We're going to hit that melody. And let me just take a look here, make sure. Yeah, okay. So we've just got that the one spot that Norma emailed me about, and I was so glad she did. Thank you, Norma. She's on now, so I can thank her properly.
Oh, I'm so glad that worked. I thought maybe you might be a little upset with me for even being picky.
I look like an easily upset person, don't I?
No, you don't. No.
No, it's, you know what? It's easy for me to miss something.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
I wasn't intending anything. I just was thinking, is it me? Am I listening, hearing this incorrectly? What's going on?
Nope. You nailed it. So it was good because I went back and I even checked out a bunch of different copies of the original sheet music to make sure I had it right this time.
Well, I listened to it. I
Mhm.
listened to it on a Zoom thing and I thought,
Yeah.
this is a professional and she's doing that because I can hear and I can follow. So, well, I'm glad you sort of upped my musical ability, I guess.
Oh, there we
Good.
go. All right, let's do level 1, you guys. Now, for people that have just come on, thank you for joining me early. I know that some people may not have gotten the notification that it was on at 8:30, and I'm sorry. I tried to spread it out to as many people as I could, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Levion Rose, level 1. Okay, now we're looking at that melody. So I'm going to share the screen again, and we've done the chords. Now what we'll do is we'll go trucking right through the scale, double check the rhythm, and then we're just going to go through and play that melody, okay, with the correction at the bottom that's still highlighted actually. So Sonia and Debbie, check out second to last line of this version where it has the second D minor 7. Do you see where I've highlighted that? Okay, that 3 that's with that associated bar needs to be down on the second string rather than the first. There's always room for error. So just make note of that, and I'll make sure that I play it on that second string. Okay, that gives us room for a little glissando there too. That's right. Yeah, that'll be awesome. All right, let's do this. So back up at the top now. Let's just play our C major scale, and we won't spend a lot of time playing it. We'll just go through one pluck at a time. Here we go. So C major scale. 1, 2, ready, go. On C, then D, second string open, then F, third fret on that second string, first string open, second fret, third fret on that first string, back down to fret 2, first string open. Okay, and now I'm here on that third fret of the second string. Then 1, open, third string, fret 2, then open. Sorry, I kind of powered through it because I'm just checking the time and I don't want us to miss anything. Now that rhythm, how did you guys do with thinking about that rhythm this week? Did it make sense? You know?
I have a question.
Yep.
Can you explain again how it works, the rhythm at
Yeah,
if you don't mind?
absolutely. So this rhythm here, right, there is a recurring theme throughout most of the song. You can see it on the first 3 lines of the song. And even though the melody notes change, that rhythm remains the same. And it is, I'll highlight the notes as I play them. I can do this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and ta, T, 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 ta, T, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I actually have a whiteboard that I can write it down on too if we need it. Did that help though, Sonia? Does that? Yeah. Okay. So then the next thing too, let's just try clapping it together. Okay. So that rhythm. Usually, what I do you see the note up top there, where it's got a little dot next to it? So if you're looking at that first 3, there's physically a space before that next one, right? And if you look at the note up top there, the quarter note that's right above that 3, it's got a dot next to it. So that dot makes it longer than a quarter note. It makes it 1.5 beats. So you'll hear me do this. I do like a little tap to help me keep my counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or when I'm clapping, what I do, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and see how I do like a little something on the 2? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, because I need to acknowledge that that's a dotted quarter note, right? Like to help me keep that rhythm going. Ta, ta, ti, 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 ta, ti, 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 ti. So that just make sure that you understand that rhythm, because you'll find that in a lot of songs. If you're reading the tablature and there's that space in there in other songs, chances are good you've got a note that needs to ring out for longer. So just be aware of it, you know. All right, so I'm going to play now. I'm going to start on that first line. I'm going to scroll up a little bit there just so we've got most of the melody there. There we go. All right. So now that rhythm is going to come right back on the first line. And we'll go slow. We'll just play through it nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3, 2, oh, 3, oh, 3, next bar, 2, oh, 3, oh, oh, 2, next bar, oh, 3, oh, 4, oh, 2, oh, 2. Okay, now, do you guys remember with that 4? If you have a high 4 tuned ukulele, you could, it's not quite the same melody note, but you could play the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, or you could let it ring out. Like there's, unfortunately, that melody note is really set up for a low 4 tuned ukulele, but that's the only spot. So, so figure out what you like the sound of there. Okay. Now let's do the next line. This is where I've got to reach up to the 5th fret with my baby finger. And usually what I do is I wind up playing it like this. I do my 5th fret with my baby finger, 3rd fret with my middle finger, 1st fret with my 2nd. And then as I play the open, I reach back with my pointer finger to get to that 1st fret. There are other positions you can play these notes in, but we'll just work with this. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3, 2, oh, 1, 3. Okay, next bar, 2, oh, 3, 1, 2, 2. Do you guys remember what I said about those melody notes there last week? If you hold them down as you play them, you make yourself a G7 chord there. The 1, 2, 2. Okay? So even if you're not adding in a lot of chords in there, that's a way you can keep that harmony going. Next bar, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1, 1, 2, 2, oh, 3. Was anybody able to, with the ones, smush their fingers down into a little bar there? Do you remember that? Okay, so what I did when I play that, I play my open, 3, and then right off the bat, I just smush my finger down. Now check it out. When I play the 2, if I'm going to do that as a bar, watch my hand position as it moves. So I do my 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. See how, like, I'm not necessarily perfectly straight there, but I do tend to put a little bit of pressure on my 2nd fret of my 1st string, just to make sure I've got the notes ringing out there. So if you do want to do the barring like that, just be aware that your hand position isn't going to be totally static. Okay, your hand may have to flex there. Okay, so the last bar there, the O and the 3, let's play the O. 1 and 2, and then the 3, 3 and 4. And next line, 3, 2, oh, 3, oh, 3, next bar, 2, oh, 3, and 4. I saw you guys all make the position change to get ready on the first beat. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's do the next line. Here we go. 3 and 4 and 5, 5, 8, 5. 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, 3 on the second string. 3. Okay, let's do those 2 bars again and get used to that. Okay, back up to right here. Okay, here we go. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 5, 8, 5. 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, 3. Next bar. 5, 5, 8, 5. 5, 8, 5. 5, 8, 7, 5. How did that line work out for you guys with that? Yeah, I see a little bit of chin scratching there. Let's play that line again because that's a different one, right? That's the one where the rhythm's a little different. So let's work through that one again. If you say to yourself, I think I can throw in that D minor 7 bar chord right now. Like I know some people can do bar chords comfortably. Play it right now if you want, it's okay. But I'm gonna just stay with the single note melody for right now. Here we go on that line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 5, 8, 5. 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, 3 on the second string, 3 and 4 and back up. 5, 5, 8, 5. 5, 8, 5. 5, 8, 7, 5. Now it looks like you guys are doing okay there. Last line, let's do it. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, oh, 3, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, oh, 2, 3. Often I do a fancy little ending. And I'll make sure I show you guys what I do there. All right, so I'm going to have a sip of coffee, and what I'm going to do is stop sharing this so I can check in on my folks on YouTube. If you have questions about this, right now is a good time to ask because I can watch everything. All right, coffee time for Tina. The squirrel's not yelling at me anymore outside, or yelling at my cats, so Nico must have moved. So I know changing to that 3rd fret on that 2nd string may throw you guys off a little bit, but I think it's going to be beautiful. No one's got any questions yet, but I'll have a couple more sips of coffee because I really need the coffee right now too. So. I love playing this song. So Debbie, if you're looking for the hard copy of La Vie en Rose, go to, I'll put the link exactly where you need to go for this. You can just go right to my website, Until Sunday Ukulele, and the top of the list of downloads, just scroll right down to the bottom of the page and you'll see a list of downloads and song sheets. The 3 top ones are all the ones that deal with La Vie en Rose. All right. You guys ready? Level 2. Let's do this thing. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is play it first, then I'll share the screen. Okay. And I'll try to play it exactly as written, except for that 1 3rd fret note that I need to change. see if I can. I'll try not to add in anything extra yet. All right. Here we go. Okay, let me start that again. So I'm even playing it mostly with my thumb. Because at that point, it could just be a straight up chord melody, right? If you're playing along, I'm on the D minor / G on the second line. I'm at the C6 now on the third line. Fancy F. Okay, and now I'm going to be going up to that 5th fret. Okay, and that's where, remember how we needed to add in a C chord there too? Right there, that's that spot. So I'm going to play it again, and when I come down here, I'm going to show you something that I might just do there. Okay, 5, 5, 8. Look at that. My mind went to that one right away, and that's where I'm just barring strings 1 and 2, 3rd fret, and the other 2 are open. That could work out pretty nicely. So just be flexible, be open-minded with that. Okay, back up now on that 3rd bar of that line. Slowing down at the end is a nice way to really just let everyone know that you're finishing the song. When I'm strumming too, I try to make it really clear that I'm strumming parallel to my frets, okay, rather than like that, straight down, so you get the same tone wherever you want to strum. Okay. All right, now I share the music, and we go for it. Okay, so keeping in mind that really what I'm doing is just full chords on the first line, and then I put in a pinch there for the G7 so that you guys can fill it in the way you want it to be for that chord shape. Okay. Down here, line, the second to last line with the D minor 7s. Okay. I didn't put in the 5th fret all the way across because I want you guys to decide how far you want to go, what you want to do with it, right? So I've just got it as a 2-string chord right now. So I'm going to go back up to the top, and we'll just go through nice and slow, okay? So we make our C chord to start, okay? So we'll play a chord and then get our melody. Play a chord and then get our melody. So C, here we go. C, here we go. 2, O, 3, O, 3, C major 7 now. Okay, and now our melody, ready? O, 3, O, 2, C6 now. So that's all the strings open. Okay, and now our melody, ready? 3, O, 4, O, 2, D minor / G. So that looks like your G7 without the ring finger. Now your full-on G chord. Okay. And now our next line. So this is where you decide, I'm going to play it just as written right now, which is 5th fret on the 1st string, 4th string open. Okay, that's all I'm going to do there right now. And here we go with the melody. 3, 2, 0, 1, 3, G7. Melody. 0, 3, 1, 2, 2. D minor slash G. A minor 7, so that's all the strings open. Ah, perfect place to give your brain a chance to rest. Okay, 3rd line now. So back to our C. C. Okay, and then the tab. 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, C major 7. 0, 3, 0, 0, 2, C6. 3, 0, 0, 0, 3, fancy F. Give everyone a chance to make that. So F with the ring finger on that 3rd fret. 2, 3, 4, up to 5th position. Okay. 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, down to your 3rd fret, 2nd string. Okay, and now back up to 5th position. Here we go. 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, again with the 2 5s. 5, 5, 8. You can just slide right up to your 7th fret. Oh, sounds so cool up there. 5 and 1. Or stop, take a look. 5 and 3. If you want instead. Or 5, 3, and 5. Works too. Okay, your choice, right? Okay, bottom line. Here we go on the C chord. And here we go with the notes there. 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, C major 7. 0, 3, 0, 0, 2, C6, which is the same as A minor 7, all open. 3rd fret, 2nd string. D minor slash G. G7. C chord. Now, I want you guys to take a look at how I build those last 3 chords in a row. Okay. Here I am on my D minor 7, so it looks like a G7 without the ring finger. Then I just add my ring finger. I don't lift up any fingers, I just keep those guys anchored, add that. Now watch how I go to my C. See that? I kept my ring finger down. I went like that, that, like that. So, you know, if that's something that's unfamiliar to you at this point, like using fingers as anchors or trying to keep them down, those 3 chords at the end of this song would be a really good opportunity for you to try that technique. And then once you get comfortable with that technique on those just the 3 chords at the end of this song, you'll find that you can start to add it into other songs. So it's pretty cool. All right, now my little fancy ending that I like to do. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for now so I can show you guys my little fancy pants ending that I use a lot on songs that end off with a C chord because it's just really fun. Have a sip of coffee and then we get ready. All right, my fancy pants ending. Okay, here we go. So 3rd string open, 2nd string open, 3rd fret of that 2nd string, up to my 8th fret. And did you hear my little glissando? And then I just hit my 3rd string open at the end. So we go like this. For opens, 3rd string, 2nd string, 3rd fret of your 2nd string, up to your 8th fret, 3rd string open. Little vibrato. It sounds so fancy, right? It's not. It's pretty, and it's something you can add to a lot of, romantic sounding songs at the end. It's kind of nice. So practice that again. So 3rd string open, 2nd string open, 3rd fret on that 2nd string, up to your 8th fret. Little wiggle there if you want. And then 3rd string open. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so much fun to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up that level 2 of La Vie en Rose again. And I want to open it up to questions, comments, observations, all that sort of stuff, okay? You guys let me know if there's something that you weren't sure about in there, or something that you find that works better for you than what I've got there too, because like we're all learning together, right?
Tina, I just discovered something really neat
Oh, cool.
in the last bar of the 1, 2, 3, 4th line, the E minor G7 thingy.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a 3-finger bar at the E minor 7th, and you slide down to the 5. G7 sus2. I had to look it up. I didn't know what that was, but
I love sus chords.
I do too.
Yeah.
And it's easier. It's easier than going and then lifting in my fingers and jumping over. Whoops. And not getting it.
That's awesome. Okay, that's cool. So you're playing, let me just make sure I've got this right. So you've got your D minor 7 that E minor 7 on your 7th fret. And you said you're doing it like 3 fingers like that?
Yeah, just 3 fingers. Yep.
Okay. And then you're just coming down here to your 5th fret and just playing them all together like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, why not? That actually goes back to the D minor 7 sound too, right? That's cool. And this is where slightly different voicings of chords are okay. Like I tend to hit the full-on G7 sound, but if it's working better for you guys to do it like that, that's okay. It's kind of nice to know it's okay, right?
I love that you've set us free to do whatever works for us, because that's wonderful. Yes.
Oh, you know what? Oh, well, you're welcome. You know what I don't like a lot of in music? Is a hard and fast, super hardcore rules, guidelines, and buffets. That's what I like, choose your chord shape that works for you, right? That's awesome. Good for you, Shirley. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to play this whole song again, okay? And when we get to the G7, you guys decide what works for you, right? Each time. Now I'm going to try to keep it pretty metrical. Now, okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C chord. 1 and 2 melody and 3 and 4 and C major 7 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D minor slash G. 1 and 2 and G. And 2 and next line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G7. 2 and 3 and 4 and D minor slash G. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and special F. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 5, 8, 5, 3 and 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, 3 on the second string, 3 and 4 and 8, 5, 3 and 5, 8, 5, 5, 8, 7. Okay, ready? Last line. C and 2. C major 7. C6. 3rd fret, D minor slash G, to G7, to C, and 2. And ready for a fancy finish? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 3, 8. 3rd string open. Did anybody get the fancy finish at the end? So yes! Oh, I love it. So at Christmas time, if you guys play Silent Night in the key of C, there's a perfect place. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. Now, you know I'm adding more stuff in when I'm playing, right? I always do. Special F, where it's ringing out for 4 beats. What I want you guys to do, that 3rd line there, okay? I want you to play that F. 2, 3, 4, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So play your F, and then strings 2, 4, 3. I say to end off on 3 because that's an open string, and that'll ring out as we move up to our 5th fret. Crafty. So strum your F, and then play strings 2, 4, 3. F, 2, 4, 3, then change. And watch my finger here. A little vibrato if you can. That's a good spot to try that, a two string vibrato, because it's just two strings. It can be easier to control that. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I went off screen there. 5, 5, 8, 5, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, right? Or make your C chord like this. It depends. At this point, you can have the open, 3rd fret on that 2nd string. You can have open, 4th fret, 3rd fret. One time, just gotta let somebody in here. One time I sat down with my Thursday ukulele group, and I said to them, find every C chord you can on your ukulele. Every single voicing, because the C chord uses the notes C, E, and G. Once you really get to know the notes on the fretboard, you can start making up all these different voicings of a C chord. It was amazing. We just kept coming up with more and more. I don't remember how many it was. I don't know, 15 of them or something like that. And there was more still. It was really cool. So that's when I say things like, okay, you can play your C chord like this. Play it like this. Right? What works for your hands? What feels good for you? What do you like the sound of there for a voicing of the C chord? And again, that is bar 14, right? Line 4, 2nd bar in. It's kind of like, you know what I'm thinking about right now, you guys, is a coloring book. Okay, we can all color a flower, but we might use different shades, right? Might all be purple, but it's not all the same color of purple. So you color that chord up the way you want to, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is just talk about the, I know it's 9:30 and I gotta get in my camouflage gear for paintball. Gotta see if I have any, actually. Oh, Debbie, you didn't know that. I'm going paintballing with my family. That's why we're on early. Oh, Dolly, see you next week. Okay, so when you guys are playing the first line, I'm just going to leave you with this, okay? Oh, sorry. One, two, and three, and four, and one. So what I did was I added in an open string, third string or fourth string open, and I played it on beat number 2. It helps me keep the beat, helps me to define it a little bit differently too. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And hear that? I just do an extra pluck with my thumb. Just gentle. And that can be kind of a neat thing. Like if you're playing through the song a couple of times, maybe the first time through you play it the way it's written. Second time through, right there in that little gap, take a look at bar 1, line 1, right there where my mouse is. That's where you could toss in a third string or fourth string open, and it would sound lovely. And you could imitate that exactly the same way on bar 2, bar 3. And you could do the same idea all with your fourth string open on the next line. But because I'm using my thumb more, that's when I might start plucking my melody with my finger, okay? To feel a bit more confident. Oh, I even added it in there. So that's in between my half notes here. Just see them here, we're end of line 2, last bar of line 2. Instead of playing them as just straight out half notes each time and letting them ring, here's option 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Option 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. It depends on the sound that you want. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it depends on what pleases you. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. But that can be a nice way to define the rhythm. You want it to be romantic. Oh, thanks, Sonia. You want it to be romantic. You want to just enjoy it, right? But there's different things you can fit in there. And what I'll do is as I go along. Oh, paintball. Yeah, right, Kathy? It's so much fun. I'm going to stop sharing this now. But I hope that between this week and next week, I want to write in some extra notes in there so that you guys can see possibilities. You might leave it exactly the way it is, right? You might not feel like adding anything more in there, and that's okay, you know, but it's fun to play, right? It's just fun to play. So, yeah, I often think about this music as like a coloring book, you know? I add in little bits where I want, and we're not going to color the same way. So I think at this point, I'm going to stop my live stream. Thank you very much.